Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dawn, also known as Dragon Rider, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over some Paladin decks, and I have some exciting giveaway information as well, so stay tuned towards the end of the video for how to enter the giveaway for a standard pre-purchased bundle for Alterac Valley. And let's start talking about these Paladin decks. Okay, so the first one that I have here is what I'm calling Summon Paladin. It has a lot of Silverhand Recruit synergies, so some people maybe want to call it like Dude Paladin or Silverhand Recruits or whatever. But there's more summon effects than just summoning the Silverhand Recruits, so that's why I'm going to call it Summon Paladin. Basis of this deck is summoning a whole bunch of stuff and being able to buff up whatever you summon. So a few of the key cards for this deck, things that summon minions, particularly things like Day at the Fair and Stand Against Darkness, that also work with Balloon Merchant, Warhorse Trainer to give those buffs, as well as potential buffs for anything with 1 health from the Carnival Barker. And then the big thing that I kind of actually started the deck theorizing around was this Dun Baldar Bridge. So for 3 turns while this is out, everything summoned, including those recruits, including the hero power, will get +2/+2. Now, this deck is fairly low curve other than the single party up, which is just going to summon some more minions that you can buff up. The only other card that could be a high cost card would be the McGurgle Prime that gets put into your deck if you found McGurgle. And because I have so many board creation things, I wanted to put Broomstick into the deck as well to fight for board, being able to create these things, buff them up, and then make trades. Now, 2 cards that I considered for this deck that I ultimately decided against. The first one was Rally, and this is going to resummon a 1, 2, and 3 cost minion, and I think it actually could be a pretty decent option. The only reason I actually decided against this one, didn't really want to be bringing back just a Silverhand Recruit over some of the other potential minions in the deck. So this one was kind of a consideration, but ultimately I decided against it. And the other card that I thought about including is this epic from the new set called Stonehearth Vindicator, and it's going to draw you a spell that costs 3 less from the deck, and it makes it cost 0 this game. I was so on the fence about including this because it actually does seem pretty solid of a card specifically for something like Day at the Fair to be able to draw that. And if you draw the Day at the Fair, it makes it 0. It's even easier to be able to corrupt Day at the Fair. Let's say playing it on turn 4 or 5, you play the Vindicator and then a 1 or 2 cost to corrupt the Day at the Fair and then summon minions. So this one definitely is something that I am going to kind of see how this deck plays out, but I think Stonehearth Vindicator actually might be a decent inclusion in this deck. Now, getting into the second deck, I actually did look at and kind of consider putting together a questline deck. One reason I decided to go for a different thing instead was I just feel like there's still not enough support for the Paladin questline. Definitely feels like one of the weakest questlines. Maybe the questline could actually fit into something like the summon deck that I just showed, but ultimately I decided that other decks seemed like they got a little bit more support. So instead of going for questline, I went for a big paladin, which we've seen big paladins kind of come around in the past. So some of the key cards for this one, mostly the key card that this is built around is Commencement. So being able to summon a big minion from the deck, give it Taunt, Divine Shield. So there's not any low cost minions in the deck. Everything is very high cost. And then the lower part of the deck is filled in with spells, weapons, and spells that generate minions so that you can still have something on board. Now, I did include the new hero as well for this one, Lightforged Cariel, to help fill in if you don't draw the Commencement. You can maybe play this. Your weapon then slows down the game even further if your opponent doesn't remove it. At this point, I don't know if the hero power really does a lot with this deck because there's not actually that many minions being played in the deck. If 1 or 2 of those have gotten in your hand, you could use the hero power potentially to buff those. Mostly the reduce damage on that weapon is kind of the key thing I was looking at for including this in the deck. I also included this Cthulhu the Shattered because it's not a minion and it gives you some 5-cost spells to help, again, stall the game. It can remove the board, remove big minion, put out a taunt, just kind of help bridge that mid-game gap to get to the later game minions that are in the deck. And one of the other kind of big things that I want to talk about with this deck as well is that it did kind of feel like I needed to fill in the last handful of cards. I was kind of not sure how to fill this in. I didn't want to put too many large minions in. Felt like it was just bogging down the deck and making it too clunky. So I actually put a small secret package in this deck instead. So it's still running the Sword of the Fallen, and then I put in 2 copies each of Omayag and the Galloping Savior, but those should just help slow down the game a little bit. It feels like a lot of these tools are kind of just trying to slow down the game enough to get to the late game bombs that are in the deck. Now, a couple other cards that I considered including are a couple more big minions. So I thought about Tyrian Forgering and Terralion. Now, Terralion can be a great answer for other big minions or just dealing with a minion that I haven't been able to answer because there's actually not tons of removal in this deck. So it kind of also could be in removal option. Now, both of these are, but I did feel like the new card Templar Captain actually kind of filled in that same role, but was even a little bit better, being just a really solid body. It also has rush, and if it's clearing a minion, which rush minions usually are, then you're getting a 5/5 minion with taunt along with it. And I just want to talk as well about my inclusion of Brasswing. This one is really interesting, and I don't know how well Brasswing is going to end up doing in the deck. I love dragons. Paladin is my other favorite class besides Hunter, so I really wanted to actually give this one a shot and try it. This one might be one that you could easily take Brasswing out and put in some of those other large minions instead. Thank you so much for sticking through this far into the video. Now let's talk about the giveaway. Blizzard has provided me with some codes to be able to give away for the standard pre-purchase bundle. So you can see that here. It includes the card back, 2 legendaries, and 60 card packs. What we're gonna do is, if you want to enter the giveaway for this bundle, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And then in the comments here, leave a comment on what deck you are most excited to try when the expansion launches. And there's one more little caveat to this. When I select the winner, I will have the winner email me and I will reply in the email with something that they have to go back and edit their comment with, a keyword or some sort of code, so that I know that the actual winner has reached out. Now, this video is coming out on Thursday, December 2nd. I am going to run the giveaway all the way through the end of Saturday the 4th. So Sunday morning on December 5th is when I will select the winner, and I'll edit that in the description of this video, as well as make sure I tell who that winner is on Sunday's deck video. And again, that person just has to send me an email and then we can get that going. So good luck. Thank you so much to Blizzard again for providing me these codes. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see even more tips, tricks, deck guides, any other content that I do, make sure to check out those videos and playlists over here.